Remember when a Saturday meant piling into the family station wagon and heading to the mall, where dinner wasn't just a meal, it was an event? There was a time in Canada when restaurants weren't just places to eat. They were landmarks woven into the rhythm of everyday life. From birthday parties with sundaes topped with sparklers to post-hockey pasta dinners in cozy booths, these restaurants were a part of growing up. They weren't chain knockoffs or short-lived fads. These were places where your parents brought you after church, where you celebrated little victories with your friends, and where the smell of fryer oil mixed with fresh bread told you had arrived somewhere special. Whether it's mother's pizza mugs, towering plates of nachos at Green Jeans, or late-night smoked meat at Ben's, these spots created memories that last a lifetime. Let's take a trip down memory lane and revisit 10 iconic Canadian restaurants we wish were still around. Picture this. Hamilton, 1970. Ray Sison and his partners opened a pizza place that didn't feel like a restaurant. It felt like your friend's finished basement. A basement with stained glass lamps, deep vinyl booths, and frosty mugs big enough to dunk your fist in. They called it Mother's Pizza Parlor and Spaghetti House, and it was an instant hit. The vibe was part Italian bistro, part family rec room. You didn't just eat there, you settled in. Birthday dinners unfolded over shared photographs. Minor hockey teams celebrated wins with towers of garlic bread and fizzy pop. The decor leaned into cozy excess. Brick accent walls, wood paneling, and colored glass lampshades cast warm amber light across red checkered tablecloths. By the mid-1980s, Mother's had exploded. Over 100 locations stretched across Canada, the United States, and even the UK. For a generation of small-town and suburban Canadians, Mother's wasn't a brand, it was the place. You could walk into one in Sarnia or St. Catharines and immediately know the layout, the menu, and exactly how the house pizza would taste. But the late 1980s were brutal. Receivership hit. Ownership changed hands. The early 1990s recession squeezed margins. Long leases became risky, and heavy competition from sit-down chains and delivery-focused brands flooded the market. Core stores began shuttering, and by the end of the decade, Mother's lived on mainly in memory. Toronto, 1980. On Queen Street East, Denise Mian opened a burger joint that refused to play by the rules. The burgers were thick and hand-smashed, and the staff didn't just cook, they sang loudly while taking orders. Enthusiasm bordering on alarming. Licks wasn't trying to be McDonald's, it was the opposite. Loud, quirky, premium, and fun. A line cook might serenade your order while you left with a bag of crinkle fries and a milkshake so thick your straw could stand upright. Through the 1980s and into the 1990s, Licks embodied a shift in Canadian burger culture. People were willing to pay a little more for fresh ingredients and a memorable experience. By the early 2010s, the chain had grown to about 30 locations, most of them cherished by kids of the 80s who remembered the singing staff and thick patties. But the 2008 recession changed the landscape. Budgets tightened, gourmet burger spots emerged, and Licks made changes that undercut its magic. Fewer fresh patties, less singing, less fun. Closures accelerated, and the once beloved brand slowly faded into nostalgia. If you grew up in Toronto in the 1980s or 90s, Mr. Green Jeans wasn't just a restaurant. It was a landmark, a ritual, and a promise. Opened in 1980 inside the Eaton Centre, Green Jeans was the ultimate mall-era family spot. Nachos were served on hubcaps. Sundaes towered so high they seemed to defy gravity. The menu was designed to make kids scream with joy while parents handed over wallets with a sigh. Every visit was playful chaos wrapped in charm. The restaurant became part of the mall experience itself. Birthday parties, school group lunches, and spontaneous outings all found a home here. Its quirky presentation and fun-loving atmosphere made it a favorite for generations of Torontonians. These first three restaurants set the tone for a nostalgic journey into Canada's dining past. They show how food was not just sustenance, but community, celebration, and memory. Telling and preparing this story took a lot of time, so if you're enjoying it, hit the like and subscribe. It means a lot. Now, let's continue the trip down memory lane with the next set of Canadian classics. For 3 decades, Mr. Green Jeans was the reward at the end of a shopping trip. You'd ride the escalator up, spot that cheerful facade, and know the day was about to get better. Birthday parties, post-movie meals, or a quick pit stop after skating at Nathan Phillips Square, Green Jeans was always the spot. It was loud, it was bright, it was exactly what a mall restaurant should be. Playful chaos, full of color and energy. Nachos were served on hubcaps, sundaes towered sky high, and every corner promised a fun surprise for kids. Parents knew they were safe handing over their wallets because every visit delivered joy in a plate full of cheese, fries, and sweets. But by the 2010s, the world had shifted. Rising urban rents made big sit-down anchors harder to justify. Mall food courts were evolving toward fast casual concepts. Build your own bowls, artisan tacos, meals you could eat while walking. In 2014, after 34 years, Green Jeans closed. Families posted tribute photos online, shared stories of sparklers and sundaes, and mourned the end of an era. Toronto, 1966. Ed Mirvish, a retail legend and theater impresario, understood that dinner and a show needed the dinner part to feel just as grand. He opened Ed's Warehouse on King Street, right on the theater row, and it quickly became an institution. Ed's served one thing, and did it beautifully: roast beef, heaping plates of it with mashed potatoes, peas, and Yorkshire pudding. The dining rooms were filled with antiques, sparkling chandeliers, and old-world charm. The menu never changed, and that was the point. For decades, Ed's was the pre-theater ritual. You booked tickets to a show, then a table at Ed's. The carving cart rolled by with a flourish. Cutlery was heavy, china thick, and everything felt substantial and timeless. But tastes modernized. By the 1990s, diners wanted lighter fare, more variety, and flavors from around the globe. The fixed menu that had once been charming started to feel outdated. As King West transformed into a hip, eclectic neighborhood, the Mirvish family gradually wound down the restaurant side of their empire. By 2000, Ed's Warehouse had closed its doors. What diners remembered wasn't just the food, but the ritual, the certainty, the sense that some things didn't need to change until they did. February 1976. Across the prairies, a new type of restaurant opened, Mother Tucker's Food Experience. Part roadhouse, part country lodge. It was rustic chic at its finest. Barnwood walls, checkered napkins, and a menu built around prime rib and oversized platters set the stage for a dining adventure. Then came the 1980s, and Canadians wanted salad bars, carving stations, and buffets where you could try a little of everything and go back for seconds. Mother Tucker adapted, rebranding some locations as Tucker's Marketplace, and the concept exploded. By 1984, there were about 21 locations. It nailed the moment. Families could eat affordably, hockey teams could fuel up after practice, and everyone could grab a plate filled with roast beef, salad, dinner rolls, and more. But buffets are fragile. They're sensitive to economic swings, rising food costs, and shifting tastes. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, diners wanted niche experiences, not broad-appeal buffets. Leases rose, margins tightened, and locations began closing. One renowned Calgary site shuttered in 2010, and the original footprint continued to shrink. So, which one resonates with you the most? Was it Mother's pizza mugs, Green Jeans sundaes, or a late-night smoked meat at Ben's at 1 a.m.? Drop your memories in the comments, share this video with someone who remembers, and subscribe for more stories of forgotten Canada.